Good day to you children. In the previous class we discussed about work, energy and different forms of energy in which we looked upon the kinetic energy and also derived an expression to calculate kinetic energy. In today's class we will be learning about the second kind of energy, that is the potential energy. As said in the previous class, potential energy is also known as energy of rest. It is the energy a body possesses by virtue of rest, or you can also call it as position. Where a body is kept, depending upon that, it has certain amount of potential energy into it. One of the examples is, if you take a rubber band and stretch it to a certain length, when you release it, the rubber band will once again snap back to its original shape. Why it happens? Because when you stretch the rubber band, due to that applied force, the rubber band stores some amount of energy in its stretched state. And when you release that rubber band, the same stored energy, which is the potential energy, gets converted into kinetic energy, and that is seen when the rubber band snaps back to its original or initial state. Similarly, another example is a spring. It is also a similar kind of example. Other than that, we also have toy cars. Toy cars are the toys which use a key and you wind them. You turn the key and wind the car so tightly that it stores all that energy in the form of potential energy, and when the key is removed, they release that potential energy in the form of kinetic energy by exhibiting some kind of motion. So, potential energy is stored due to the work done on the object. It is stored due to the work done on the object. So, when you do work, you apply some force. You are applying force and the object is being displaced. That means you are supplying some energy to that object or that body. So that energy, part of that energy is stored in that object in the form of potential energy. And when that energy is released, it comes out in the form of kinetic energy, which changes its velocity or speed. So similarly, now, just like how we derived an expression for kinetic energy, we will also derive an expression for potential energy. So, consider an object of mass m kept at a certain height from ground. Certain height h from ground. So, now the force acting on this object, as we saw in the previous chapter, the force acting on this object is purely gravitational force, and due to that its weight, or you can also weight is also the downward force. So force acting on the object is given by mass into acceleration due to gravity, that is g. And lastly, we have the displacement of the object, because it was raised from ground. It was first on the ground and then it was raised to a certain height. So the displacement is equal to h, the height to which it has been raised. We know that work is equal to force into displacement, that is F into S. So this is equal to, we have equation 1 and we have equation 2. Put them in our equation 3. We get work done is equal to mgh, mass into acceleration due to gravity into h. And since this work done on the object is equal to the potential energy stored in that object, just like how kinetic energy was also a form of work done on the object, similarly work done on the object is stored as potential energy. So our EP, E subscript P, EP, that is potential energy, is equal to work. So this finally implies potential energy EP is equal to mgh. So this is an expression for deriving the potential energy of an object kept at a certain height from the ground. So this is also, since this is potential energy, the energy is stored because of the height at which the object has been kept to, and thus the work is done against gravitational force. It is also known as gravitational potential energy. Both are one and the same. Moreover, now let us look at example 11.5. Solved example 11.5. The question is, find the energy possessed by an object of mass 10 kg when it is at a height of 6 meters. So first, the mass of the object is 10 kg and it is at the height h is equal to 6 meter. And also they are given the value of g to be equal to 9.8 meters per second square. Our job here is to calculate the potential energy or EP of that object. So we know that potential energy EP is equal to mass into acceleration due to gravity into height. So this is equal to 10 into 9.8 into 6. So this is equal to 98 into 6. So this is equal to 6 8s are 48, 4 carry 6 9s are 54, 4 5 88 joules. Therefore, the energy stored is or the potential energy is equal to 588 joules. This is the required answer for the example 11.5. Now coming to example 11.6. Solved example 11.6 from your textbook. An object of mass 12 kg. So given mass of an object is 12 kilograms. Mass of an object of mass 12 kg is at a certain height above the ground. If the potential energy, that is EP, is equal to 480 joules, find the height at which the object is with respect to ground. So height is equal to how much? We have to find height. And given g is equal to, they have told us g is equal to 10 meter per second square. So once again we know that EP is equal to mgh. So this implies we know the value of potential energy, that is 480 is equal to mass is into g, that is 10 into h. So this implies 480 is equal to 120 into h. So this implies 1s 4s. Height is equal to 4 meters. So the object is raised to a height of 4 meters. This is the required solution. Now, in our day-to-day life, we have seen that one form of energy is always converted into another form of energy. For example, the electrical energy which comes to our house is converted into light energy by the bulbs or tube lights which we use in our homes. Similarly, the same electric energy is converted into wind energy when the fan rotates due to passing of electricity into its system. Similarly, the TV, the speakers convert electrical energy into light energy as well as sound energy. And also, in the dams where the current is produced, the kinetic energy of the water rotates the turbines, and that rotation of the turbines produces mechanical energy. This mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy by electrical generators present in that system where electricity is produced. Similarly, when I am talking here, the chemical energy, that is the food which is in my system, that chemical energy is converted into sound energy while I am talking. Similarly, for you to perform your day-to-day activities like sleeping, waking up, going to school, attending classes, completing your homeworks, completing your assignments, studying, singing, playing with your friends, all these activities require energy, and that energy comes from the food which you eat, and that food, in the food the energy is stored in the form of chemical energy. This chemical energy is stored in us as our potential energy, and that is utilized when we do certain kinds of activities. So in our day-to-day life, if we see everywhere, you can see that energy is converted from one form to another form in one or the other way. If you want few more examples, then one is the nuclear power plants, where the atomic nuclei are broken down and lots of energy is released from those, which is used to produce electricity. So here we see that nuclear energy is converted into electrical energy. Similarly, the nuclear bombs or the atomic bombs, which are used or developed by the countries for the purpose of war and protection or security, those bombs and all those things produce, when they detonate, they produce lots and lots of heat, and they produce lots of heat energy. So thermal energy, that is, the heat energy is also known as thermal energy. So here the nuclear energy was converted into thermal energy. Then next, thermal energy in geothermal power plants or coal thermal power plants, where coal is burnt, the heat energy is used to convert it into electrical energy. So we use this conversion of energy from its one form to another form in our day-to-day life, and conversion is governed by a law called as law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy. This law says that, this law of conservation of energy says that energy can neither be created. That means you cannot create energy. You cannot create energy. Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. You cannot destroy energy. Energy is never lost. Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be converted from one form to another form. This is the law of conservation of energy, which is also called as first law of thermodynamics. Thermodynamics is the study of, it is the branch of physics or science which deals with the study of heat and energies in the systems or objects. So here once again the statement of the law says that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only be converted from one form to another form. In other words, the same law of conservation of energy can be stated as the total energy of the system, the total energy of the system is always constant. It is always constant. That means the kinetic energy EK, kinetic energy EK plus the potential energy EP of any given system is equal to constant. This implies the formula for EK is half mv square plus potential energy is mgh, which is a constant which will always remain the same. This is the mathematical formulation for the law of conservation of energy. Now the next concept which we are to learn is rate of doing work. Rate of doing work. Rate of doing work. Rate means we divide the said physical quantity by time. So work in unit time, work by time is nothing but power. We call the rate of doing work as power. It means how much amount of work is performed in given unit time. That is power. So the unit of power, this, in another words, it can also be written in the notations as P is equal to W by T, work upon time, small t. Capital T is temperature, so small t. Power is work upon time, and SI unit of power is, SI unit is watt. W-A-T-T, watt, denoted as capital W. If you have observed in the light bulbs, you can see that they are measured. Their powers are always given 0 watt, 10 watt, 20 watt. It means it is the power consumed by the bulb to give some light output. So SI unit of the power is watt, named after in the honor of the physicist James Watt, who is also known to be the inventor of steam engines. So now defining power, defining watt, 1 watt is equal to 1 joule by 1 second. So it means that 1 watt is the power of an agent or a body of an agent which does 1 joule work in 1 second. This is the definition of the SI unit of power, that is watt. It is also 1 watt can also be written as 1 joule per second. This is also correct. Joule is the SI unit of work and second is the SI unit of time. So 1 watt is 1 joule per second. So higher ones, 1 kilowatt. 1 kilowatt is nothing but 1000 watt, or it is also equal to 1000 joules per second. And this power may vary with time, and this means the object cannot perform same amount of work throughout the entity of its time. So we take different rates at different intervals of time. Therefore, the concept of average power is useful. In such cases, the concept of average power is useful. And to find average power average is given by energy consumed, total energy consumed by total time taken. This is the expression for average power. Now we have another example, that is example 11.7. The question is, 2 girls each of weight 400 Newton. So 2 girls each whose weight is equal to 400 Newton. Weight is m into g. Take it to be m into g, or take it as force. So weight mg is equal to 400 Newton. Climb up a rope through a height of 8 meter. Height is 8 meter. We name one of the girls A and the other B. So one girl mga and B. Weight of girl A and weight of girl B, they both climb a rope of height 8 meter. Girl A takes, time taken by girl A is 20 seconds while time taken by girl B is equal to 50 seconds. To accomplish this task, what is the power expended by each of the girls? So here, first let us calculate the power used by girl A. Power used by girl A. So we know that P is equal to work by time, and since we know the weights which is a force and this is the displacement, force into displacement will give us work. So it is mgh by time taken by the girl A. The weight is mg is 400 Newton and height is 8 meters divided by 20 seconds. 0 0 cancels, 1 za 4 za 4 4 za 1660 watts. So the first girl expends the power of 160 watt. Second, the power used by girl B. Power used by girl B. So power is once again work upon time, which is equal to, once again, work is potential energy is nothing but work. We saw it in the previous section. So mgh by TB. So this is equal to 400 into 8 by 50. So 1 za 1 za 5 1 za 8 za 8 into 8 64 watt. So girl A expends 160 watt of power, whereas girl B uses 64 watts of power. That is the required solution. Now coming to solved example 11.8. A boy of mass 50 kgs, mass of the boy is 50 kg, runs up a staircase of 45 steps. Number of steps is 45 in 9 seconds. So time taken by him is 9 seconds. If the height of each step is 15 centimeter, height of the steps is equal to 15 centimeter. Find his power. P is equal to how much? Given G is equal to 10 meter per second square. So first let us calculate the total height which he has traveled here. For one step 15 centimeter and he has climbed up 45 such steps. So the total height is equal to 15 into 45, which is equal to 675 centimeters. And now since it is in centimeters, converting it into the SI units of meters, we get it is equal to 6.75 meters, because centimeter to meter while converting we divide it by 100. So now let us also, we know that power is equal to mgh by T, or work by time. Work is, simply I am putting it as mgh, which is also potential energy. So mgh by T, m is 50 into G, which is equal to 10 into, they have mentioned G to be 10, and we have H to be equal to 6.75 divided by time, which is 9 seconds. On solving this, we get his power to be equal to 375 watt. So the power of the boy is 375 watt. Lastly, for this chapter, we have something known as commercial unit of energy. If you have ever looked at the electrical meters at your home, then you might have observed that beside the disc that rotates or that measures the power consumed in your house, or the electricity consumed in your house every day, then besides that the units are not in watt or in joules. The amount of electricity consumed is in terms of something known as kilowatt hour, or kWh. This is the symbol you will notice beside your electrical meters in your home. So why this unit kilowatt hour is used instead of using joules? Because electricity is nothing but a form of energy. Why do they not use joules? The reason is the unit joule is too small and hence is inconvenient to express large quantities of energy. So we had a need of something bigger. We had a need to use a bigger unit of energy. And that bigger unit of energy is kilowatt hour. It means we have a machine. If we have a machine which consumes 1000 joules of energy every second. If a machine consumes 1000 joules of energy in 1 second, and if this machine is used continuously for 1 hour, and we use it for 1 hour continuously, then it will consume 1 kilowatt hour of energy, because 1000 joules in 1 second means power is 1000 watt, and since we are using this machine for 1 hour, 1000 watt is 1 kilowatt. So for 1 hour, using the machine for 1 hour, the power consumed is 1 kilowatt hour. So 1 kilowatt hour is nothing but 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1000 joule per second into 1 hour. So since SI unit of time is second, we will convert this hour into seconds. So 1000 joule per second into 1 hour is 60 into 60. 1 hour has 60 minutes and 1 minute has 60 seconds. So this is equal to 1000 joule per second into 3600, which is nothing but 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joules. You can see the difference. Joule is such a small unit compared to kilowatt hour. At least they are 10 million times. 1 kilowatt hour is 10 million times greater than the energy unit joule. That is why in our homes we consume about 10 million times of energy than 1 joule for a day. It is just the electrical energy. So the energy used in households, industries and commercial establishments are usually expressed in kilowatt hour. For example, electrical energy used during a month is expressed in terms of units. Here, so they usually say, the KB or KPTCL people, they say that 1 units of energy, 36 units of current, 45 units of current, 36 units of electricity. That means the consumption is 36 kilowatt hour. 1 unit is 1 unit. 1 unit is equal to 1 kilowatt hour. So now the last worked example of the chapter is example, an electric bulb of 60 watt. So power is equal to 60 watt is used for 6 hours per day. Time is 6 hours. Calculate the units of energy consumed in 1 day by the bulb. So in 1 day, how much energy does this bulb consume? So power, since power is 60 watt, I'll convert it into kilowatts. So watt to kilowatt, you divide it by 1000. So we get something known as power is equal to 0.06 kilowatts. Now the time used, as we know, is 6 hours. So energy E is equal to power into time. Power into time, so which is equal to 0.06 into 6, which is equal to 0.36 units or kilowatt hour. So the energy consumed by the bulb of power 60 watt in 6 hours is 0.36 units or 0.36 kilowatt hour. This is the solution. So this completes your chapter work and energy. Please solve the exercises, please solve the blue questions, and in the next class we will be starting the new chapter, that is sound. So that's all for today. Thank you.